Hi everyone, I am Matt Prim from Fitness with Matt, and I am here with another team talk, and I am discussing 10 things I hate about the health and fitness industry. I work in it, and I've worked in it since 2012, so I've got a few opinions, and as always, they are my opinions, and I love to hear your opinions too. But in preparing today's team talk, I realised I had a lot to say, so I'm actually turned this into part 1. Part 2 will be next week, so stay tuned for that and join me next week for part 2. But let's get straight into it. The number one thing I really dislike about the health and fitness industry is the obsession with weighing people and weight. There is so much focus on this one metric, and this one metric does not distinguish between body fat, it does not distinguish between muscle, it does not distinguish between undigested food, water retention, it does not think about your time of the month. And often a lot of these weight loss groups and programs, they focus on weighing you every single week, and people get disheartened and demotivated because of one weigh-in having maybe gone up. But what I get the impression is there's no education about the fact that that's okay and to be expected, because our weight does fluctuate, especially for women going through the menstrual cycle and also the perimenopause. Hormones play a massive effect on your body and its weight. You know, and we do need to factor in the fact that one week you may have more undigested food in you one week than the next. Maybe you're retaining more water because you had more salt the day before. And another key thing is your weight, your body weight on the scales is not indicative of your health. Neither is your BMI. What studies have shown is your lifestyle factors will have a greater effect on your longevity, your health, fitness and well-being. So that's things like how much alcohol you drink, if you smoke or you don't smoke, how active you are in your daily life, what kind of foods you eat. It's not just about calories in and out. You know, have you got an ultra processed diet? That's going to all have an effect on your health, fitness and longevity. It's not just what that scale says. So please, let's stop putting so much focus on weight. Now, for each of my points today, I'm going to give kind of a solution or maybe a way of overcoming these things that the fitness industry don't do very well. So my number one thing to encourage you to do when you're on any kind of health, fitness or well-being journey is to look at the intrinsic value of what you're doing, but also to monitor your progress in different ways. So number one, intrinsic goals are things like, I go to a fitness class, it makes me feel good. It's about how you're feeling. I want to feel more confident, and monitoring how confident and happy you're feeling is going to be way better for your progress than just what the scales is saying. Because if your motivation is depending on that one reading, you know, it's not that healthy. And you can monitor your achievements by, am I less stressed? Am I sleeping better? Am I performing better than I was before? Has the exercise I'm doing made everyday life easier? Things like this are far more rewarding and encouraging, motivating than just one metric, okay? So focus on things that are a little bit deeper than the scales. How you're feeling, your emotional well-being, your relationship with yourself, like your body image, how you feel about your body. So things like those are far more, I think, positive than just focusing on your weight. So let's park that weight, number one. Number two, the demonizing of foods, food groups, or the advocation of one diet success, i.e. one modality of eating is the best and we should all be doing it, and people who aren't doing this are idiots. That happens a lot. I'm sure you see it on your social media, I see it on mine. So by demonizing certain foods, saying that sugars are bad and going to kill you, kind of clickbaity headlines that grab everyone's attentions, they're not helpful, and often it breeds fear around food. You know, people stressing about what they're eating because of something they've seen on social media, and it's a very specific and narrow view often that's given. People nitpick the statistics they want, and they're biased in what they present to represent their own agenda. I hope that made sense. It can also create disordered eating because there's this guilt and shame and fear around what we're eating and our health, and an insistence that we must do a certain thing or else we're stupid or we're going to die and stuff like this. And it can lead people to focus too much on what they're eating, which then can potentially lead to disordered eating. It also creates this kind of mentality of on and off the wagon. Okay, I'm being good because I'm not eating this food group, and as soon as you have something from that food group, you have failed. Again, super unhealthy. I have recently seen a post on my social media of a PT grabbing a donut out of someone's face and screwing it up and throwing it out the window and being like, stop eating sugar. I mean, no. Why are we doing this in 2022? It's fear-mongering, it's clickbaity, it may get you comments and likes and that stuff, but it's not helpful. I feel my job here is to help and educate, not just to shame and demonize things. And finally, demonizing food groups and making people think that an over-restrictive diet is going to help them is often unsustainable. Each one of us is different. We all have our own food preferences, our own lifestyle, and the way we eat is different. So please, if you see anything clickbaity saying, don't eat this, this is going to keep you, this is a superfood, drink this juice, and you'll live forever and look like a 25-year-old until you die, unfollow. And something I do, if I see adverts like that, you can click the ... next to it and go, stop showing me this, or I don't like this ad, and it will often ask you why. So please use that function, because I do often. So what's the solution? Be cynical, okay? Anything you read, if you're interested in it, go and read more about it from different sources and reputable sources. Okay, not just celebrities, not just someone you follow on Instagram. Have a look into it. Look at the research. Often around nutrition, there's never any clear-cut answer. Okay, so look at education. And when it comes to your eating, think about sustainability. What are you going to be able to do long term? Okay. Number 3, false promises and misinformation. Kind of leads on nicely from this. Lots of people now are getting their information based on celebrities. They think because something's worked for them, or this product they're selling has worked for them, it's going to work for you. They're just trying to sell products 99.9% of the time. So these kind of detox teas, those kind of things, or alkaline diets, all these kinds of things are utter nonsense to try and get you to part with your money. And it's not good. We see these adverts, get a flat stomach in 8 weeks, or 8 days sometimes, or 8 hours. A lot of this gives people false sense of hope. It gives them unrealistic expectations, and they're like, well, if I can achieve this in 8 days, why am I not looking like this? Why am I not doing that? And it's just often all lies, all false, and again, misinformation. So like before, the solution is education, being cynical. If something sounds too good to be true, 99.9% of the time, it's probably not true. So that's why it feels like, is this right? So again, look, research, read, reach out to a professional within the industry or a few and just get their opinions on something. You know, check the sources, research, and again, like I was saying, curate your social media. Unfollow people who sell you detox teas, and I think there's quite a lot now on social media to stop celebrities doing that. But also, again, tell Instagram, tell Facebook, tell YouTube if you don't like an advert, especially if you keep seeing it and it's annoying you or you just think it's utter nonsense. Just tell it to stop showing you. That's what I do. Okay. Number 4, the obsession with having a flat stomach. There are so many people who idolize this and put it on a pedestal like, I will be fit when I can show I have a 6-pack. There are very few people who can achieve a six-pack without a very over-restrictive diet. There are some people we all know, and we knew them growing up, they would eat everything under the sun, and they would still have that very lean physique where you could see their six-pack muscles. Okay, but for the majority of us, to achieve that, to achieve that would be very short-lived. We'd have to live an extremely restrictive life, especially when it comes to our eating, because a six-pack is made in the kitchen. You have got to eat in a way that gets your body lean enough so that you've got hardly any body fat on your tummy so you can see it. We all have a six-pack. It's there. It's what helps you to sit up and look at your phone at night. Okay, just me. So we all have a six-pack. Whether you see it or not is not indicative of how fit you are, how healthy. It just says, hey, this person has a low body fat percentage. Wow, great, cool. You can't have much of a conversation after that, can you? So it's not a sign that this person is particularly active or healthy or eats well or that they're going to live a long time. So again, there is too much value placed on these extrinsic factors on how we look. So again, try not to focus on things that are really extremely focused on how we look. Try and look at ways to be more active, to eat a bit better, to have less stress in your life, to sleep better. These are things we all need to be striving for before being like, hey, I've got a six-pack. Cool, great. So number 5, the final one of today, because remember next week is part 2, exercising to punish yourself for something you've eaten, for not being active enough. Lots of people are like, oh, I've got to go to the gym because I ate this, or because I want to eat this later, I've got to do a workout now. Because often fitness trackers, overestimate the calories burnt, and humans, have a tendency to underestimate what they eat. So you can see how people can get misguided and they can wonder why the calculations aren't working, because often these two things are quite inaccurate. We need to strive to be active for life. So we want any activity we take up to be sustainable. We want it to be enjoyable and something we want to do, not doing just because we've been told to or we think it will get results quickest. I am fully aware that what I do within the fitness industry is not for everyone, and that's fine. I want someone to find something that they get excited for and that they want to do week in, week out for the rest of their life, or even for the next year, and then they'll move on to something else. But it's far more important that you do something for the love of it, because it makes you feel good. Not because you feel like you need to punish your body. Your body is an amazing thing. Reward it by doing things it likes and that are going to help it and get stronger and live an active life. So exercising to punish is going to create this disordered relationship, like eating a certain way because we feel we should can lead to disordered eating. Again, you can have a disordered relationship with exercise. Often it can cause people to overtrain because they're like, oh, I've eaten this, so I have to do lots of exercise. I need to do my step counts because it's telling me to get up right now. But there is one thing I want to also mention as a caveat right now. Research has shown people who do exercise classes, specifically cardio classes, tend to be less active in the rest of their day because they're like, oh, I've got this exercise class that I've done, so I don't need to do anything for the rest of the day. No, try and keep moving throughout the rest of the day. Okay, so to round up, 5 things I hate this week before the 5 things next week. 1, too much obsession with weight as one metric to show success. 2, demonizing specific foods, food groups, or saying that one diet is going to be the best thing and you're going to live forever. Number 3, false promises and misinformation. Number 4, an obsession with having a flat stomach. And number 5, exercising to punish your body or to make up for eating something. Okay? all these things are not helpful. Exercise and your life should be something filled with joy and happiness. So go and seek things that make you feel good, that you enjoy, and that you can do long term to live an active, happy, and healthy lifestyle. So I hope this has given you some overview, a new way of thinking about your health, fitness, and well-being, and maybe being a little bit more cynical of the things you see on social media. Love to know your thoughts and feelings below. Let me know if you report any terrible adverts promising the earth that are probably going to deliver nothing. Anyway, thank you for joining me tonight. I've been Matt Print from Fitness with Matt. You can find me on Instagram at fitnesswithmatt1 and on Facebook, Fitness with Matt. And of course on YouTube too, /Fitness with Matt, all one word. Take care, have a brilliant week, and I will see you again very soon with part 2 of 10 things I hate about the health and fitness industry. Yay!